What's up, folks? Nate here at Two Wheel Dyno Works, and I am back on our dyno today with our 25 Z900 doing some more intake and exhaust testing. Because so many of you asked us to go ahead and get the Acra on our bike, I decided to go ahead and finally just buy the full Akrapovic exhaust system for our Z900. I'll be honest with you folks, I was not really planning on actually buying this system. I already knew exactly how it was going to perform. I did not need to rebuild fuel mapping for this particular pipe, but because so many of you requested it, we went ahead and decided to just go ahead and get it and put it on. Now, we'll go ahead and get to the reason why I really didn't need to buy this exhaust system and install it to go ahead and provide you guys with perfect quality fuel mapping already built for this specific setup in just a minute. First, let's just quickly recap for those of you that haven't seen our previous videos on this platform from where this bike started off with bone stock versus how it performs now with that full Acra exhaust installed and our custom ECU mapping to match. Bone stock, with all the restrictions still in place in the ECU, the bike only made 114.7 horse and 68 pound-feet of torque to the tire on pump gas, and the power curve looks absolutely terrible. But with the full Acra installed and our custom ECU mapping to match the airflow needs of this new system, the bike makes a massively better power curve with 126 horsepower at the peak and 74 1/3 pound-foot of torque to the tire, again, on premium pump gas. It doesn't even look like the same bike anymore when you're comparing the before and after. But this is the exact performance we saw on another system already. And that leads us to really what I want to cover in this video, which is the performance improvement, say, from an Acra exhaust system compared to the M4 that we already had on the bike, which flows identically to this Acra exhaust system. And I really do mean identically. One system makes 126.1 horsepower, the other makes 125.9. One system makes 74.4 pound-feet of torque, the other makes 74.7. These little tiny tenths of a pony and torque variances are nothing more than run-to-run variance. In fact, I didn't have to make a single % trim in the fuel mapping for one system versus another. I simply ran it a whole bunch to make sure that there was no variables in any of the other part throttle ranges, even though I knew there wasn't going to be. Now, a lot of people are probably looking at that and are very confused. Clearly, there's a lot of folks out there that are expecting the Acra to make significantly more power than anything else on the market, because the dozens of emails I got requesting that we install and show you this system reflect exactly that. Everybody was assuming that the Acra would be like the creme de la creme as far as performance is concerned on this bike, and that just isn't the case. I tried explaining that to a lot of folks via email, and even some of the comments on our previous video we posted sharing the difference between like a 4.2.1 header design versus a 4.1 header design, and folks just didn't get it. So I finally decided to say, screw it, bought the system, put it on, ran it, full well knowing what was going to happen, just so I can film this video and show you guys, and we can talk about it, and hopefully you'll have a better understanding when it comes to picking out a particular exhaust system versus another for your new Z900. Whenever you're looking at a new exhaust system, whether it's something like the M4 or the Acra we've got on the bike right there, as I showed you in the 4.2.1 versus 4.1 header video that we've already posted, which I will go ahead and link in the description for those of you that haven't seen it, the header and collector design is the important part of the equation. You want a 4 into 2 into 1 header to maximize the performance of your modern inline 4 engine. There are virtually no exceptions to this rule. If I take a look at the M4, it is exactly what I just described. It is 4 head pipes, down into 2, before it goes into 1 at the collector, and back up to essentially the exact same mounting angle as the Acra. Again, the Acra is 4 individual head pipes, into 2, the spacing between where it goes 4 into 2, down into the collector where it goes to 1 pipe, and then out is identical to the M4. You can see it all there yourself. If I were to hold up either of these headers without any sort of branding or logos on them whatsoever, you truly would not be able to tell the difference from one to another. Nor would you be able to tell the difference if I just got rid of the mufflers here between that portion of the collector as it leads to their slip-on versus what M4 has in their design. And this is why the two systems perform identically to one another. Now, companies like Acra that have done an incredible job of manufacturing exhaust systems for the last several decades have set themselves as a premium manufacturer of high-performance exhaust systems. So, people, because of that fantastic branding and marketing, assume that they're going to perform better than other pipes out there on the market, when in reality, most of the other exhaust systems on the market that are being developed by smaller companies, like our friends over at M4, for example, are equally high-performing systems. Just because it says Acra on the muffler does not mean it's going to flow any better than another exhaust system that is designed with the exact same header and collector and muffler diameters and routing and spacing. That is what matters from a performance standpoint. The header design, the collector design, the bend angles, the diameters of the piping, and the muffler length, and making sure there's no baffle in place. As long as all of those are effectively the same, the sticker on the muffler just doesn't make a damn bit of difference. And these incredibly damn near identical similarities between the two pipes are why I had really no real desire to purchase this Akra system and put it on our bike. Because many of you had already reached out and I said, no, I have mapping that will work flawlessly for that system, but I haven't installed it on the bike, and they just couldn't understand how that could possibly be true. When I am making a decision for which exhaust system to purchase next for tuning R&D on any bike that we offer support for, I am looking at the header designs, at the collector designs, whether it's a 4 into 2 into 1 system, a 4 into 1 system, the muffler length, the mounting location, all of that, to see if it's even something we need to purchase to be able to offer perfect mapping for. And in this case, again, I did not make a single % fuel trim from one system to the other. And as you saw in the dyno graph, and I'll show you again here in just a second, they truly are identical in terms of performance. In fact, if you couldn't see the labels at the top of the screen there, and I just showed you those two graphs, you would have absolutely no idea which system was which. Now, let me be crystal clear here for a second, folks. I am not in any way, shape, or form making this video to bash the folks over at Akra. Their systems are fantastic. From a material quality and fit and finish standpoint, they are about second to none. I even went ahead and had one of their full systems on my personal 22S1000RR race bike a couple seasons ago because they really are just that damn good looking and well built. But it is very important for folks to understand that on this bike, as I've shown you, the two systems between the M4 and the Akra are identical. Just as any other full exhaust system, of which there are several out there with the exact same design, the full Akra for this bike retails for $1,710. The full M4 retails for $1,179. And some of the other full systems out there sharing this exact same design, some of the more Chinese knockoffs out there, are even half of that price of the M4. So just because you're getting a top-of-the-line exhaust system does not mean it's going to be massively better than many of the other systems out there. When it truly comes down to it, what's going to make the single biggest performance improvement to your motorcycle is making sure that you find a tuner, like us here at Tool Dyno Works, that has custom ECU mapping built for your specific setup. As long as you find someone that has experience with your particular exhaust system and knows what the airflow characteristics are going to be of that system on your bike and has custom ECU mapping built for it, you're going to enjoy your new system. Again, do not get lost in the weeds between comparing one system versus another if they all share the same design, because they all will flow identically. And I can guarantee on these new Z900s, you will not find anybody that has more experience with them than us here at Tool Dyno Works. The level of R&D that we go through on these platforms for both intake and exhaust specific modifications is second to none. We did this exact same process on the old Z900s, which is why we've flashed so many more of them than any other tuner on the planet. So, if you are looking to get a new exhaust system for your new 25 Plus Z900, look no further for your tuning needs than right here at Tool Dyno Works. Our mail and ECU flashing service for these bikes is available on our site, tooldynoworks.com, for $349.99. And if you have any questions whatsoever about a specific setup for your bike and whether or not we have tuning for it, or you just have any general tuning questions or questions about this platform at all, please do not hesitate to email us at support@tooldynoworks.com, because I personally answer any and all tech support questions every single day that we are open here at the shop, and we truly are always happy to help get your bike properly tuned and dialed in.